Approximately 200,000 street children live in the streets and in the slums of Calcutta, where they are abandoned and traumatized, without families and no future, and certainly no hope. A child as young as 10 Approximately 200,000 street children live in the streets and in the slums of Calcutta, where they are abandoned and traumatized, without families and no future, and certainly no hope. A child is the cost of a new CD or a top, and they are forced to sleep with sick, aged men every night for what to them is an eternity. This happens every hour, every minute of every day, to the little ones who are the hardcore street children all over Calcutta. They are the lost and the forgotten children of the world. We're actually celebrating our 10th anniversary this year. We were set up in 1999, and the plan at that particular time was to have one little home and just to care for about 30 children. But in that short space of time, we now have 6 homes, a drugs rehabilitation unit, HIV/AIDS hospice, reach out to 75,000 people in our primary health care, and about 25,000 children in education. A lot of our work would have started actually around train stations in Calcutta, because a lot of these children would have come in from rural areas and would come in on the trains. The main two would be Shielda and Howrah. And it is claimed actually that 4 million people a day will pass through Howrah, which is the population of Ireland. But if you're there very early in the morning, you will see the number of children that sleep on the stations and the number of children that are drug abused. And when the trains come in, these little lads, their job is to jump on the moving train, try and get in through the window, and then go in, gather up whatever they can find, like any of the disposable things, and they bring them out and then they sell them. Due to their dreadful circumstances, a lot of them are taking glue, they're glue sniffing, they are slightly drugged, they can fall under the train. We have a lot of children who have lost their limbs. We rehabilitate these little ones, then they go to a drugs clinic, and that takes about 6 weeks. And from there they come to our own drugs rehabilitation unit. That is where actually it's lovely. It's where the work starts in really getting them back into mainstream life. To see Calcutta at night is actually seeing it at its most raw and its most vulnerable, and you see the real pain of the people at night, particularly in the winter, because we kind of forget that India gets a winter and it can get quite cold, and even last year it got down to freezing. And these people wouldn't even have a blanket to cover them at night. So we have a little beautiful program called Night Watch. And in Night Watch, you had 2 ambulances that would patrol huge areas of Calcutta. And it's on these rounds that we have discovered so many children that have been trafficked, and children that have been sick, children that would have nobody, children that have been abused. So we have rescued, I suppose, 75% of the children that we've rescued actually have gone to our homes. Most of these little ones would have been abused, they would have had absolutely nobody. Trafficking is such a huge problem in Calcutta, and as well as that, we know that 45,000 children in India go missing every year, which is the equivalent, if you want to put it sort of into figures, almost the population of Waterford City. And of course, our huge thing then really is to make sure that these little ones get to a safe haven, and we take them to our 5 homes, which are now bursting at the seams again.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I'm from Dublin, and I've been here for the last 5 weeks working with the Hope Foundation. At home I'm a care worker, and I work in Drumcondra in a school for the blind. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy. We we decided that we'd do music and art because we were only here for such a short time. And it was great to spend time with kids and to just play with them and to have some fun.
Teaching children through play is a lot better. The art and the music, they could see something that they had done. The things I've seen here, the children on the street, I've never seen anything like it at home, the poverty. And these children are always smiling. They're so happy with what little they have. I think I'm going to be feeling a little bit of guilt at the life I have at home. I'm going to be sad but happy as well that I came and hopefully get the opportunity to come back again.
If you think about it, these little ones actually had no idea of what hygiene was, weren't getting proper food, were totally malnourished. So when they came to us, actually, we started giving them proper food and then introduced them to education in a fun way, in a creche way like we do here. Very similar to Ireland. And they would have a lot of influences, I suppose, with a lot of Irish volunteers being there, sort of learning the rhymes. And we tried to introduce them to English at an early stage as well, because they need English now with the influx of Western factories coming in. On my last visit, I came across this horrendous dump. I had seen other slums which were, I would have thought, would have been the worst you could possibly see, where you had 5,000 people living in an area of a rugby pitch and in total squalor. But this was an actual dump, where the lorries came in one after the other with just all the refuse from the city. And the smell, you just have to be there to get that horrendous smell of rotting material. And when the lorries came in, all these children just converged on it, and also the dogs, the rats, and the pigs, and the goats. And they literally just fought for their space to get what they could get. The pigs obviously looking for food, the rats the same, but the children were scavenging just to their little rag pickers. What they were trying to get actually was just little bits of material that they could take away and sell. Children would smile, they'd have this wonderful smile. But I think it was the first place that I noticed so much that these little ones had dead eyes. And I think it was just to see them having to fight for their existence with animals was the most horrendous thing I think I would have seen in Calcutta to date. And these people actually live on the slum. They have no help, they have nothing. It is our plan actually within the next 6 months to set up some sort of a little shelter and to try and get these kids into school. No human being should ever have to endure that suffering. It's not a life, it's not a quality of life, and it isn't even an existence. I can so understand how difficult it is for people in Ireland today, and the many difficulties they're going to face for the following year. A year, I would think, of hardship, young people without work. And I think, I'm a mother, my heart goes out to all these people who actually will be out of employment. And all I'm asking of you is to please spare a thought for these little people that we have, that will not have anybody to look out for them.